Alrighty, everyone. God bless you all. We're going to have a special day tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to read what I wrote here. Tomorrow, I'm going to be handing out the achievement diplomas for all of those who have been present during the last 5 lessons. I am also going to ask each of you a question about one of these lessons. But don't worry, I am also going to give you the answer right now. So you don't have to worry about going tomorrow and me calling everybody up to the front and asking you a question and you're not going to know the answer. I'm going to give you the answer. So right here, I'm going to just read. When the pastor hands me the microphone, I'm going to talk about the Sunday school class. I'm going to thank you guys. I'm going to thank the parents of your parents for all of their support. Then I'm going to say that we had our 5 lesson test on Thursday, which we did, and I'm going to pass out the rewards for the best scores. So before I do that, I'm going to call you guys up to the pulpit. And you see the pulpit right here? I'm going to be standing behind the pulpit. You guys are not going to go up the stairs. You're going to stand in front of the pulpit. And I want you to stand in this order: Jesus, Kimberly, Gardenia, Diana, Daniel, and Caleb. So the two young ones are going to be on the corner. Then we're going to have Kimberly next to her brother. Then Gardenia, Diana, and then Daniel right here. Okay? That's the order you're going to stand in front of the pulpit. Quiet, Caleb. So after you're standing in that order, I'm going to hand out the certificates to each of you. After you get your certificate, you're going to go up, get the certificate, and you're going to come back down and stand again in that order. Then I'm going to talk about the lessons we've taken and about the books that we ordered and the lessons that I've taught from that book. We got the new books from Kimberly's mom, and I taught 2 lessons already from that book. So to show how much you learn, I'm going to ask each of you one question. We're going to start with Jesus, then he's going to pass the microphone to Kimberly, then it's going to be Gardenia's turn, then Diana's turn, then Daniel's turn, then Caleb's turn, okay? And each of you I'm going to ask you the question, and I'm going to ask it in English. First of all, I'm going to translate it in Spanish so that everybody else, because I know that everybody else sitting down is not going to understand English. So I'm going to ask the question in Spanish first, and I'm going to ask it in English, and I'm going to let you guys answer it. And right here, I am going to give you the answers. So the first person I'm going to ask a question to is Jesus. And the question for Jesus is basically the 5-finger prayer. I'm going to say, Jesus, when you pray with your 5 fingers, please tell us who you pray for each finger. If he doesn't know the answer, Kimberly, please help him and tell him to speak loud and slowly. He can't say thumb, family, first finger, teachers, middle finger, leaders, fourth finger, sick, fifth finger, pinky, yourself. No, he has to say it. The thumb is for my family. The first finger is for my leaders, my teachers, I'm sorry. The middle finger is for the leaders. The fourth finger is for the sick people or people with problems. And the pinky is for myself. Okay? That is what the question that I'm going to ask Jesus. Kimberly, then I'm going to ask you, we're going to go to the lesson about God can use you no matter what. And I'm going to say, Kimberly, God used Abraham to begin. I'm going to first explain to the church what this lesson was about. And then I'm going to say, Kimberly, God used Abraham to begin the kingdom of Israel, even though Abraham was too what? And you're going to say Abraham was too old. Abraham was 100 years old when God decided to use him to start the kingdom of Israel. So that's your answer for the first one. Abraham was too old. And again, I need you to speak clear, not just like Abraham was too old or just Abraham was too old. No, you need to speak nice and clear. Then I'm going to ask you, God used Jacob to start the 12 tribes of Israel, even though Jacob was what? And you're going to say Jacob was a liar. He lied to his brother, Abraham, he lied to his father, Abraham. Then the last question you're going to get from me is, God used Moses to deliver his people from Egypt, even though Moses was what? And the answer is Moses stuttered. But if you don't know what that means, it means that he couldn't. He spoke, he couldn't say his sentences clearly. So you can say Moses stuttered, or I don't know, it's saying that I spelled that word wrong. Let me check here. Why is it not letting me click? Here we go. Shuddered or stuttered? He stuttered, yeah. Or if you don't want to say stuttered because it sounds like a weird word, you can say Moses had trouble, and as you can tell, there's a word missing here. Moses had trouble speaking. Okay? So again, Jesus is gonna start with the 5-finger prayer. Then he's gonna hand the microphone to Kimberly. Kimberly, these are your answers. Abraham was too old. Jacob was a liar. Moses stuttered, or you can say Moses had trouble speaking. Then Kimberly, you're gonna hand over the microphone to Gardenia. Gardenia, then I'm gonna ask you, who did God give the commandments to? Obviously, you're gonna answer Moses. I'm gonna ask you then, Gardenia, how many commandments did God give Moses? The answer is 10. Then I'm going to ask, where was Moses when he got the 10 commandments? And you're going to answer on Mount Sinai. Or if you want to say it in Spanish, you can say en el Monte Sinai. Hey, Caleb. He's scratching my back. Caleb, how sweet. Okay, Gardenia. So who did God give the commandments to? Moses. How many commandments did he give him? 10. Where was Moses when he got the 10 commandments? On Mount Sinai or en el Monte Sinai. Okay? Then Gardenia, you're going to pass the microphone to Diana. And Diana, I know that you know the 10 commandments by heart. So that's what you're going to say. Yeah, I'm going to say, please say the 10 commandments in any order. And this is actually the order that they're in. You put God first. No fake gods. Respect God's name. Respect God's day of rest. Respect your parents. Do not kill people. Respect marriage. Do not steal. Do not lie. Do not be jealous. Diana, I know that you're very good at this and you're going to be able to say them very well. If you want to go an extra step, try saying them in Spanish. Dios es primero, no dioses falsos, respetar el nombre de Dios, respetar el día de descanso, respetar a tus padres, no matar, respetar tu matrimonio, no, how do you say steal? No robar, no mentir, y no ser celoso don't be jealous of your neighbor. No ser celoso de las personas. Just say no tener celos. Yeah. Okay. After Diana, then comes Daniel. Daniel, you're gonna be basically answering the questions for the first lesson we did from the book. I'm gonna say, Daniel, before Israel was ruled by kings, who ruled them? You're going to say judges, right up here. Judges. Or you can say jueces. I'm going to say the people wanted a king instead of judges. So they prayed to what prophet to ask God for a king? They prayed to the prophet Samuel. That's your second answer. Then the prophet Samuel prayed to God, and God told him to anoint God told him to anoint who was the first king of Israel. God told him to anoint this person who was going to become the first king of Israel. The answer is King Saul. Then I'm going to go on and say King Saul was a good king, but he did not follow God's orders correctly. One day God taught the kingdom of the Amalekites, and when I taught this lesson, I didn't give you guys the name of the kingdom. I just said there was an evil evil kingdom. The actual name is Amalekites, or in Spanish, Amalequitas. And God told King Saul to take his army and destroy everything in the kingdom: the men, the women, the children, the king, and the houses, and the animals, and everything. Okay? Because this kingdom had given problems to Israel when Israel was leaving Egypt. King Saul did what he was told, but he made two big mistakes. He didn't kill the best of what? He didn't kill the sheep, the best sheep, and the best cows. God also told King Saul to kill everyone, but Saul captured and brought back the king. I was actually reading in the Bible, and in some Bibles it says that he brought back the king and the queen, but in the King James version it says he brought back the king. So we're only going to say the king. So the answer is, when I say who did he bring back, you're going to say the king of the Amalekites, or in Spanish, el rey de los Amalequitas. Okay? Then after Daniel, Caleb. Because Caleb and Jesus are in the same class, I'm going to ask Caleb the same exact 5-finger prayer question too. Okay? So Jesus and Caleb are going to answer the same exact thing. After I am done with Caleb, I'm going to give out the scores to the quiz you all took yesterday, and you're all going to get your quizzes back. The person with the top score will get a prize. The person with the most points, I'm going to count those little balls, those little candy balls. The persons with the most points for attendance, bringing the Bible, and bringing offerings will also get a prize. That is all. If you have any questions, please call me. Go over this video and make sure you memorize your answers. They are very easy to remember. Please make sure you're dressed nicely, because you're going to be standing in front of the whole church tomorrow. My phone number is this phone number if you have any specific question. And try to be early at church tomorrow. So if you have any other questions, I can answer them for you. So again, Jesus... I'm going to go here. Jesus, 5-finger prayer question. Kimberly, you're going to answer... What was your answers, Kimberly? Kimberly. God can use you no matter what. So Kimberly, God used Abraham even though he was too old. God used Jacob even though Jacob was a liar. God used Moses, even though Moses had a stuttering problem or Moses had trouble speaking. Then we have Gardenia. How many commandments? Who did God give the commandments to? Moses. How many commandments did God give him? 10. Where was Moses when he got the commandments? On Mount Sinai or Monte Sinai. Diana, you're going to get the 10 commandments in any order. Okay, and there they are. You can pause this video and go over them. Then we have Daniel. Before Israel, before there was kings, there was what? Judges. Who did God send to anoint the first king? The prophet Samuel. Who did Samuel anoint as the first king? King Saul. King Saul was good, but he did something. He was told to go kill the Amalekites, and God told him to destroy everything, but King Saul did not do everything. He did not kill the fattest sheep and cows, and he brought back the king alive with him. And then we go to Caleb. He's going to do the 5-finger prayer. Then I'm going to give out the scores for the quiz, and then you guys are going to get some prizes. You guys have to wait until I dismiss you. I'm going to say, okay, thank you. I'm going to say, thank you, students. You guys can go back. Shh, quiet, Caleb. I'm going to say, thank you, students. You guys can go back to your seats, okay? If you have any questions, please give me a call. Alrighty then, see you tomorrow. I'm super excited, and I'm going to go count your scores and everything right now and go get your prizes. Ciao.